What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TXJX here, back with another video. Today's video is life-changing to me. Like, you guys may not understand this to you guys, but me hitting 100 subs is crazy. The matter of the fact that I only started 2 weeks ago is even more crazy. Well, as I promised you guys, at 100 subs, I'll bring you guys a story time on the time of how I got type 1 diabetes. And so I'm going to bring that to you guys. So let's get right into it. Okay, well, I was 6 years old, and you know, I didn't know at the time what diabetes was or what it was at all. And so all of a sudden, on I think it was in August, yes, August of 2011, I was not feeling so well, and I drank a gallon of milk in a day. I used the bathroom all day. I didn't feel well. I was hot at times, cold at times, and so I told my mom. My mom said, just sleep, get some rest. I said, okay. So I went to bed, and so, as you guys may not know, really may find this funny, but it was serious at the time. I kept wetting my bed, and it wasn't good because I kept waking up and I didn't feel well. So the next day, I keep telling my mom. My mom is already a type 1 diabetic. If you're a type 1 diabetic, it does not mean that you are fat, you eat too much food. It does not mean that. It could be by genetics, because that's how I call it, diabetes, by genetics, and my mom called it by genetics. So my mom had a monitor which you test your blood sugar with, and so my numbers were over 600, which I could have been even higher, but the monitor did not read that high. And so this was during the day, and so my mom was saying maybe if we just relax today and see if they come down. I said okay, but also it was over the weekend, so my cousin was coming over this weekend, and so my cousin basically had the worst weekend over at her cousin's, because first, she probably spent the weekend in the hospital, which she probably did not want to. So, okay, the next day it comes. My cousin's over. We're in the hospital. So once we get to the hospital, they have to check me out. As soon as they did, they give me a whole lot of insulin, because you guys probably may not understand, but you guys, all that don't have diabetes, maybe some of my subscribers have diabetes, probably not, but you guys, all of your pancreases work. Mine does not. My pancreas does not work because it does not get blood flow to the pancreas, and so that causes all the insulin, which insulin is the things that cover your food and provides you with sugar. So that's, my pancreas did not work. So that once we got to the hospital, they checked me out, they gave me insulin, and so they took me up to the room, and they finally, yes indeed, they did, they diagnosed me with type 1 diabetes. And so the first thing they told me was, I couldn't have any junk food, and I said, what? Like, at the kid, like, all kids know that you guys love sugar, and that was me at the time. I was 5 or 6 years old, and I got scared because I thought I wasn't gonna be able to have any of my favorite snacks anymore, but that wasn't the case. They just said that because they wanted to make sure I was healthy before I could have any of those. So I spent 3 days in the hospital, them monitoring them. The nurses took very good care of me. I had a playroom to play in. And so once I got out of the hospital, I had to have a doctor come to my house for every week until I was ready to take it on my own, that I can take this disease on my own, because they knew that I was young. They didn't know if I could handle it, because it may not seem as bad as cancer, but diabetes is a life-threatening disease, because if you do not take care of it, it can kill you. And sometimes my friends make fun of me for it, but I try to fight through it. And so after a couple weeks, the doctor treats me, takes care of me. She takes my blood pressure, makes sure I'm doing alright. And so after that, I am taking insulin shots, which at the time I was five or six, and I was terrified of them. I had to take one for morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I was not a big fan of them. And so a couple weeks after, I was very quick out of shots. I went to the insulin pump, which basically I have to give myself insulin every other day, which I was really happy with. And my mom thinks it was a lot better for me. And so to this day, I still have an insulin pump on me, and I'm fighting through it. I'm trying to conquer it, but it's a struggle for me. So I have to deal with type 1 diabetes every day of my life. But if any of you guys have type 1 diabetes out there, do not let it stop you. I play sports. I still go to school. Type 1 diabetes will not stop you, and it will not stop me. So I encourage you guys to, if any of you guys have friends that have type 1 diabetes, help them, pick them up, don't hurt them, boost their confidence. And yeah, well, that's my story time, guys. Thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. I can't believe I have 100 subs already. It's only been 2 weeks, and I already hit 200 subs. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, TXJX, peace out.